Shalom. First and very foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechachodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who still rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect scattered throughout the four corners of the planet Earth, pushing his word in humility and sincerity as commanded by Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And the title of this lesson, as you can see, is Scoffers. Scoffers grown strong in these last days. And Baba Kashah, if you could hear me, if a brother could just put con or yes on the comment board if you could hear me, because I got my phone hooked up to the charger of the car, so I don't know if it's gonna, take the sound to the car or if you could hear me. So if you could hear me, just let me know, Baba Kashad. Because when you look at the history of the nation of Israel, pretty much, let me just unplug it, so that way, if you could hear me, Lord willing, you could hear me. When you look at the history of the nation of Israel, scoffers was dealt with. Scoffers was dealt with swiftly and speedily. When people rose up against the authorities that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh set up, so they was dealt with, man. But now we're living in a time where the Lord is allowing, scoffers to grow strong. He's allowing them to multiply because we're not under our own authority, our own sovereignty to be able to execute judgment upon people that rise up against Yahweh Shemel Shai. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 14, and verse 1. It says, and all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night, and all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, would God that we have died in the land of Egypt, or would the Most High we had died in the wilderness? Wherefore have Yahweh Shemel Shai brought us into this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return into Egypt? And they said one to another, let us make a captain and let us return into Egypt, because they was fearful of the inhabitants of the old inhabitants of the Holy Land, So that they coming up against the Lord, the will of the Lord, the will of the Lord that He's performing through His leaders, Moses, and now they trying to go back into Egypt, trying to go the opposite direction. This is Numbers 16 and 41. It says, but on the morrow, no. Number 16 and 1. It says, now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, the son of Dathan, and Abiram, the son of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. So you had a group of popular niggas, niggas who had clout amongst the congregation, amongst our nation. They wanted to rise up and be the leaders of the nation of Israel. They wanted to do the office of the priesthood. That's why some of them were the sons of Reuben. But they wanted to take upon themselves the priesthood. It says in verse 3, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and Aaron and said unto them, ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and Yahweh Bashemel Shai is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of Yahweh? So they like, well, we all the children of Israel. We all holy, we're all holy people. Yahweh Bashemel Shai is with all of us. So who are you to lift yourself up over us? Who made you apostles? Who made you the high priest? Yahweh Shemel Shai made him the high priest, man. And that's the thing. When you rise up against Yahweh Shemel Shai's men, you really rising up against the Lord. You really coming up against the Lord. You say little slick shit like this, ye take too much upon yourselves. You got too much on your plate. Let me help you out. Let me take some of that responsibility. So it says in verse 4, and when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face. And he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow, Yahweh Bashmiel Shah will show who are his and who is holy. Because you niggas not really holy. Just because you're a part of the nation of Israel, when you do certain things, you condemn yourself. And you're not really holy. You're really cursed. So Moses said, we're going to see who is holy. It says, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he hath chosen, he will cause to come near unto him. Because if you're not truly holy, if you're not truly purified by Yahweh Shemel Shah, you can't enter into his presence. So it goes on, the rebels were swallowed up by the earth. I'm gonna jump down a little bit. Well, let's just keep reading for a little bit. It says, this do take you censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before Yahweh tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom Yahweh doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. Yeah, so Moses, mocked them back. Because you're not, though you are the sons of Levi, though you are the sons of Reuben, and though you are princes among the nation, doesn't mean that you deserve the positions that you might be trying to exalt yourself to. Yahweh Shemel Shah said, whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. So now we jump down to verse 23, Numbers 16 and 23. And Yahweh Shemel Shah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed them. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins. So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the doors of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that Yahweh Shemel Shah have sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind. It says, if these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then Yahweh have not sent me. But if Yahweh Shemel Shah make a new thing, and the earth open up her mouth and swallow them up with all that appertaineth unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked Yahweh Shemel Shah. And that's exactly what happened, man. Okay, the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, man. It says, and it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men, and the men that pertained unto Korah, and all their goods. And see, they children got caught up in that judgment because they wanted to heap disciples unto themselves, having itching ears. They wanted to come up against the authority of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And so the Lord brought judgment not only on them, but on their family and everything that pertaineth unto them. Numbers 21. Numbers 21 and 4. It says, and they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom. And the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way. And the people, because Esau, Edom would not let us pass through his land. So we had to take the long route, which was a long and harsh journey. It says, and the people spake against the Most High and against Moses. Wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our souls loatheth this light bread. So here it is, the Lord had done these miraculous miracles by bringing them out of the land of Egypt, by proving that they are his people. The Lord brought us out of the world, woke us up to this truth, and brought us into this truth. That's a great miracle right there in itself. And then now it's like, as we go on this journey to the kingdom of heaven as hopeful elect, you're gonna have people that complain about the things that Yahweh Shemel Shah put them through in this journey, man. But you really can't complain. You can complain to Yahweh Shemel Shah, but not to complain as if the Lord is doing these things to destroy you. It says, And the people spake against the Most High and against Moses. Wherefore have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loatheth this light bread. So even the food that Yahweh Shemel Shah was feeding them with, they was complaining about that. It says, and Yahweh Shemel Shah sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. And this fiery serpent, these fiery serpents that bit Israel, they were appeased when Moses made a serpent of brass. And that serpent of brass represents Yahweh Shah. You know, the serpent of anybody that looked upon that serpent of brass that Moses had, the plague did not harm them. It says, verse 7, therefore the people came to Moses and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against Yahweh and against thee. You see, they sinned by speaking against the Most High Yahweh Shemel Shah, but also speaking against Moses, the one that the Lord set up, speaking against the authority that Yahweh Shemel Shah set up. It says, I pray thee, Salakia. It says, and against thee, pray unto Yahweh that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. And Yahweh Shemel Shah said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass and put it on a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he had beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. Which we know, pursuant to John 3 and 14, that serpent of brass represents Yahweh Shah. That's Yahweh Shah was raised up so that for the children of Israel, the same way that Moses raised the serpent in the wilderness. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. It says, this second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance, that ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken by the holy prophets and the commandment of the apostles, of us the apostles, and of the Lord and Savior. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lust, because they have the freedom to do so. They're not, you can't stone these niggas. Yahweh Shemel Shah is not going to bring instantaneous judgment upon them. It says, because judgment against the evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the sons of men is fully setting them to do evil. Yahweh Shah said that we shall see no sign but the sign of the prophet Jonas. So the Lord is not having the earth swallow these people up immediately, although you might see like scoffers die in a car accident or something like that. But for the most part, they have leave to scoff, because the Lord is saving those scoffers, those top chief scoffers, for the nuclear fire. Okay, the nuclear fire is also designed for these scoffers. That's why 2 Peter 3 right here, it starts off speaking about scoffers, and then it goes into the destruction. You had Hananiah, who rose up against Jeremiah. Jeremiah was prophesying that 70 years in Babylon, and then you had Hananiah talking about, nah, we only gonna be in Babylon for 2 years, and then the Lord gonna break the yoke. So, and what happened to him? He got judged. Okay, so in the past, scoffers, it really was hard for a scoffing to grow strong, to grow into a culture, to grow into like a movement. But now it's able to fester, like a disease, and it spreads, and there's a whole uh opposing force of scoffers that come up against the ministry. 2 Peter 3 and 3, it says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lust. Right, because if they was walking after the gospel, then they wouldn't be doing that. It says, and saying, where's the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning. Right. Since the elders, the men before us fell asleep, King Masha, which was King David, he fell asleep. So now people saying he can't be King David because he passed away, because he's sleeping right now. What disqualifies, how about that, or what about that disqualifies him from being King David? Because he fell asleep. It says, and where's the promise of his coming? Talking about Yahweh Shah chiefly, but now you got guys looking for David. Where's David? Where's David? It says, or for since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the creation. They're under a strong delusion, because they actually think that they got the entire timeline of this truth fucked up. They actually think that now, you know, there's going to be a new congregation of Israelites, or a new body of the house of David that's going to arise, and it's just going to be these random niggas that teach, but they're not a camp though. They're not a camp. They're just random niggas that teach. They don't even believe the same thing, you know. And it's funny because you have people that left Great Millstone and they was siding with scoffers and random niggas, and now those random niggas is claiming that they King David, and now they're not even, now they're going against each other. So it's just a bunch of confusion, a bunch of madness, because the Lord's not dwelling amongst that. It says, for this they are willingly ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. Because you had people that was scoffing Noah. You think there wasn't people that was scoffing Noah when he was building that humongous ark? It says, verse 7, but the heavens and the earth, which which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. So these scoffers is being reserved and prepared for that thermonuclear fire. Okay? That's why when you read Proverbs 1, it says what it says. How long you simple ones will you love simplicity? And then you continue to read down, it goes into the destruction, you know? So, yeah, scoffing hasn't been able to grow strong, but as strong as it is, it's going to melt even faster. So, Lord, witness edifying, just something real quick that was on my mind. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rakakodash, Tawadi Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Kaya, Rakahakodash, for the Holy Spirit to bring out this lesson. And Tawadi Akim for letting me know you can hear me. Homie, Ashar, Shalom, Abba, Barakatam.